Good evening, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
Tonight's headlines in the south. Surgery for weight loss. Were NHS doctors right to operate on teenage Abby? An exclusive interview. Did the treatment work?
Get away while you can. Packed platforms, busy roads ahead of major rail disruption this Christmas.
Festive feast. Roasted, boiled or mashed. The factory that's gone into overdrive to meet demand.
So we're currently on a flight and it's really busy. Really busy. Holy joking!
Leaving on a jet plane. Number of passengers, 3. How these friends enjoyed first-class treatment. Good evening to you. A teenager, morbidly obese and struggling to shed the pounds, has lost around a third of her body weight and says this for her is an extra special Christmas.
Abby King from Bournemouth admits it hasn't all been plain sailing, but she's grateful to the NHS doctors in Portsmouth who agreed to carry out weight loss surgery to avoid future health problems.
Well, the operation known as bariatric surgery is controversial, not least because of Abby's age. But 6 months on, she says she feels like a new person. Emma Wilkinson has been following her story.
At her heaviest, Abby King weighed nearly 20 stone. Now, 6 months after weight loss surgery, she's almost 7 stone lighter and infinitely happier.
I couldn't look at myself in a mirror without clothes on. I hated myself. But now it's just like, I love looking in the mirror. Like, as soon as I walk past a mirror, I have to like give myself a quick look, just to, like make it believable.
It was very difficult not to go on the scales daily for the first week, and it was so unreal that every day it was £3 coming off.
I think I recognise these.
Yeah, they were the jeans I wore last time before the op. They're like 4 sizes too big, but I feel like I need to keep them as like a constant reminder.
A reminder not just of how she used to be, but of the journey to where she is today.
And here we go. This is theatres. It's a bit cold.
Abby had just turned 18 when she had a sleeve gastrectomy. Around 75% of her stomach was removed to restrict the amount she could eat before feeling full. She was young for a bariatric surgery patient, and some have questioned how helpful surgery is in the wider effort to tackle society's growing obesity problem.
The solution to the obesity crisis is in prevention, full stop. The problem is what to do with the patients who are obese already and struggling with their medical problems. And for those patients, the only true solution is surgery.
Doctors warned Abby it wouldn't be a quick fix. The surgery was a tool to help her, but to keep the weight off, she would need to eat well and exercise.
How do you feel?
So far, so good on that front, but it hasn't all been straightforward. She's developed gallstones, thought to be linked to rapid weight loss, and psychologically, the process can take its toll.
Basically, it's a new identity, an identity that they don't really know. And when they put clothes on, it's like as if they're actually looking in the mirror to somebody else, not them. And they've got to get used to this new identity, the new slimmer them.
But while Abby feels largely positive about her progress, she feels she can't yet close this chapter of her life.
I'm just going to pull the curtain up, and if I can ask you to stay standing.
She's now seeing a plastic surgeon about the excess skin left behind by her weight loss.
I had like an ideal body in my head, and I felt like I worked hard enough to be able to achieve it. I just need extra help to get rid of the horrible little bits left over.
Abby's family have chosen to pay for surgery, but even if they'd wanted NHS help, this treatment is generally deemed cosmetic and not clinical, so is rarely offered to weight loss patients.
The NHS is an extremely expensive commodity and can't afford to do everything. In my personal view, I think a lot of patients who have bariatric surgery should have surgery on the NHS because a lot of them simply can't afford to get their excess treated and they're therefore consequently made worse from a psychological point of view by the surgery they've had to help their physical health. So patients end up losing all the weight, they've worked extremely hard, and then they end up looking worse and not being able to expose themselves because they're embarrassed about all of the excess skin.
For Abby, it has been tough at times, but she says she would never go back.
I'm feeling amazing. I'm really happy with what I've achieved so far. And to think it's only been 6 months, I'm really looking forward to the next year.
Emma Wilkinson reporting there. On to other news now, and donations have surpassed £100,000 to pay for a cancer treatment for a musician from Southampton. Greg Gilbert, who's a singer and guitarist with the band Delays, was recently diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer that has spread to his lungs. 4 days ago, an online fundraising page was set up to help pay for alternative drugs. More than 4,500 people have so far donated.
I think all of us had an extremely late night last night trying to respond to messages and this incredible outpouring we've all experienced over the last couple of days. I keep coming back to just being completely overwhelmed. We never expected that people would want to help or donate, and in the ways that they have, it's just been so touching.
An NHS trust in Sussex has been rated as requiring improvement by the Care Quality Commission. Inspectors say the Sussex Partnership NHS Foundation Trust has made progress this year, but more work still needed to be done to improve safety, effectiveness and leadership. The trust was found to be good for its care and responsiveness.
3 people have been injured in a 4-car pile-up in Basingstoke. It happened at 6:30 this morning on the A33 at Chinham. 2 men with serious injuries were rushed to Southampton General. Another driver with less serious injuries was taken to North Hampshire Hospital in Basingstoke. The road was closed while the cars were recovered and oil cleaned up. One of the car's engines was found 100 metres away up on an embankment.
A driver has been jailed for 3 years for failing to stop after a fatal collision on the A338 Salisbury Road. Noah Chapman from Salisbury pleaded guilty to causing death by careless driving. He was driving a white van in April when he collided with 78-year-old cyclist Richard White, who later died in hospital. The 23-year-old was tracked down through CCTV and mobile phone examinations.
Now, you may be about to set off on your Christmas getaway, but do be warned it may be slow going. Around 12 million cars will be out in wet and windy conditions, with the M25 in Surrey, the M4 in Berkshire and the A303 near Stonehenge expected to be the busiest. Highways England says 800 miles of roadworks have been cleared to help.
And it's the busiest day of the festive season at the airports too. Around 120,000 passengers jetted off from Heathrow today. But for rail users, there is less to celebrate.
Today it was confirmed a 3-day strike on Southern Rail will go ahead from December the 31st. While improvement work across the whole network means Paddington Station will be closed from tonight and won't reopen again until next Friday. Waterloo will partially close tomorrow night, with services reduced until the new year.
And there will also be major disruption at London Bridge from tomorrow until January. Our transport correspondent Mike Pearce has more.
An early start for the millions of drivers heading off for Christmas, or that last bit of Christmas shopping. It was quiet early on, but the queues were expected to build as the day went on.
We've removed most of our roadworks on our network. We make sure that we inform our customers through signs and signals, but also we encourage our customers to look at our website, trafficengland.com, to check traffic conditions before they travel.
It's horrible, it's horrendous. I've never known a day like it, like today. It's just chaos, in the towns especially.
Today, I've found the traffic to be lighter than it normally is, unusually enough, despite the fact that they predicted it to be busier. Throughout the festive season, not particularly looking forward to it.
I'm thinking a 3-hour journey might be about 5.5 hours. It might have been better to get the train, but Southern Rail's been really unreliable, so we decided to drive.
Thousands descended on stations early to try to beat the anticipated rush tonight. This was Paddington at 10 this morning. Tomorrow will see the station closed for 6 days, with disruption also at Waterloo and London Bridge.
The key issue, however, is if you are travelling directly into London Paddington. We're not able to run our services all the way in because of the work that Network Rail's doing for Crossrail, but we are able to run as far as Ealing Broadway. We're also running additional services with South West trains into Waterloo.
No, I hadn't realised that.
You didn't know Paddington was closed?
No, I didn't. No.
Will that disrupt you?
Yes. Should probably rethink my plans then.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do because I have to get to work.
I have a request from my employer to grant work from home, actually. So
just because Paddington's shut next week?
That's right, yeah.
At Eurostar, the company say it's one of their busiest ever days.
Well, I think you can probably see behind me we're very busy today. Actually, December this year has been our busiest December ever, which is fantastic. We've got a lot of people travelling. We've got nearly 370,000 people travelling.
And the queues are expected to continue tomorrow.
Well, Mike is on the platform for us at Reading Station. Mike, Christmas engineering works have caused chaos before. Will it be less so this year?
Well, the hope is that there won't be any overruns this year and that everything will go to plan. That's what they certainly are planning for. Of course, the getaway well and truly underway now. James Pritchard from Network Rail. Why 6 days of a closure at Paddington?
Well, this is part of our £84 million programme of work, one of the biggest single pieces of engineering work that Network Rail have ever done. Christmas gives us a fabulous opportunity to do major projects in one go. It's part of our railway upgrade plan. It's about delivering a world-class railway for Britain, and we would say to passengers, just check before you travel. Please bear with us, please enjoy your Christmases. We will get everyone home, but Paddington Station is shut on Christmas Eve.
And what have you done to ensure it does finish on time?
Awful lot of planning, a lot of forward planning gone into this. A lot of colleagues have been spending months and months and months preparing for this. This is show time for us. It's a really, really important time for us. We're doing our absolute best to make sure that all the work we need to do is done. We get the railway back in time so people can come back after a well-earned Christmas holiday and have trains running to get them into London and other locations as well.
Okay, well, the band been playing behind us here. I think the best advice is really to check before you travel if you are going between now and the new year.
Good advice, Mike. Thank you very much indeed.
Now, 5 Sussex police officers won't face any charges after a man died in police custody. It's thought Duncan Tomlin, who was 32, had a seizure when he was restrained by officers in Haywards Heath in July 2014. He stopped breathing in a police van and later died in hospital. The Crown Prosecution Service has now decided that no criminal charges will be brought.
CCTV images have been released of a man who robbed a Co-op store at Knife Point wearing a Santa hat. He threatened staff at the shop on Lustral Road in Saltdean on Tuesday night and forced them to open the safe, stealing more than £2,000. Police think it could be linked to another robbery in Brighton earlier this month.
One of the best-known hotels in the New Forest could be demolished and replaced with 74 retirement flats and holiday lets. The Lyndhurst Park Hotel closed in 2014 and was bought for a reported £5 million by developer Pegasus Life. Campaigners against the plan say the building, once linked to smuggling, is historically significant. The development plans will be discussed by the National Park Authority in March.
You're watching ITV News Meridian. Coming up.
Like father, like son, Chris Eubanks Senior and Junior swap their Brighton boxing gym for the London Eye to talk about world domination.
For more on all of our stories, head to itv.com/Meridian. Give us a call or get in touch via Facebook or send us a tweet at ITV Meridian.
Now, another bit of news for you, and very good luck to them too. A family from Basingstoke is set for a Christmas to remember after winning £1 million on a National Lottery scratch card. Mum of 4, Tammy Pickett, bought the winning card from the One Stop store on Shakespeare Road. Tammy says top of her Christmas wish list is a new home after living in rented accommodation and a new car for her husband Ian.
And good luck to him. What a fantastic story. Now the sport with Andrew Pate. Patey, you're in fine festive spirit already.
Oh yeah, it's a great time to be a footy fan, isn't it? Because we're now entering one of the busiest parts of the football calendar. So for all those fans, here are the ITV News Meridian festive football fixtures. And we start with Bournemouth, who have some tantalising trips. On Boxing Day, the Cherries travel to Chelsea. On New Year's Eve, they're at struggling Swansea, while Arsenal visit on January the 3rd. Eddie Howe told us his plans for the big day.
Christmas Day will be spent, I think, in the morning with the family, and then we'll be preparing for Chelsea in the afternoon. So we'll be leaving the stadium in the afternoon to go up to London. So it's an exciting time, when you consider we're playing Chelsea. Christmas time, you wouldn't have said that a few years ago. So really good few days ahead.
No Boxing Day match for Southampton fans as their clash with Spurs has been moved. They have to wait until December the 28th. It also means 3 matches in 6 days with West Brom and Everton either side of New Year's Day. Off the pitch, the players have been busy producing a new club song.
I just think that obviously Bertrand and Shane, although they wasn't here in League One days and Championship, but they know what the hard work we've been through and what we had to do to achieve what we achieved so far. And the lyrics reflect exactly, where we came from and where we come from and how we did it.
The Seagulls have been singing for weeks now, but can they extend their 16-match unbeaten run over the festive period? They host QPR on the 27th and Cardiff on the 30th before travelling to Fulham on January the 2nd. But can they take the pressure?
Yeah, of course we love that pressure, that we play always to win. That's. I think we showed it last game, against Birmingham. We were 1-0 down. We scored the equalize and we went straight to get the ball and trying to score the second one. That's our mentality,
Reading would love to close the gap on Brighton with their festive fixtures. The Royals playing host on Boxing Day and the 30th before travelling to Bristol City, with Jaap Stam determined to still be in the hunt for promotion in the new year.
We try to keep it up to get results, but it's going to be hard, especially now because in January a lot of other teams are going to be maybe buying players as well. So you never know what's happening. It doesn't say that they're going to be stronger, but to have some extra quality within the squad during the season, it makes it sometimes easier for a manager if there are injuries or if there are suspensions to still do well.
In League One, it's the traditional Boxing Day matches followed by games straddling New Year's Day. Oxford United at home for Christmas, then travelling to Gillingham in January, while Swindon are on the road before welcoming Southend. And in League Two, Crawley and Portsmouth fans will be driving away from home this Christmas. On Boxing Day, Crawley head to the East End, while Pompey go west, and then on to the West Country on Friday night, with both sides home for the new year. Portsmouth fan Roger Holmes will be hoping for some historic matches to write about, having compiled a report for every game Pompey have played since the club joined the Football League in 1920.
This was their first major trophy. 29th of April, 39. Pompey won the FA Cup, beating favourites Wolverhampton Wanderers at Wembley before 99,370. Dickie Dorset reduced the deficit with a shot from close range before Parker headed home in the 72nd minute.
As Guthrie comes up for the happy moment of his life.
People remember games from 50, 60 years ago. They might not remember what they had for dinner, but they remember, all about matches. There's nothing like football for reminiscing.
He's not wrong there. Now, Christmas is a time for family, which is probably best for Chris Eubank Jr., as his dad will be by his side throughout the festive period. That's because Junior is gearing up for a world title bout and Senior is coaching him. They travelled from their home in Brighton up onto the London Eye to promote the fight. Luke Hanrahan went to meet them.
Selco Builders Warehouse, proud sponsors of ITV Meridian Sports Report.
Eubanks don't stick to the script. They do things their own way. Organising a press conference from the London Eye. Chris Eubank Jr., stepping up a division, will be fighting for the IBO Super Middleweight World title in the new year.
London is the greatest city in the world, in my opinion. I'm always up here, I train up here, I have many friends and family up here, so it's always nice to fight somewhere where you kind of, you've lived life.
At middleweight, Eubank Jr. has won 23 fights with 18 knockouts.
Eubank wants to make it into a brawl.
But he hasn't had it all his own way, losing this fight against the now world champion Billy Joe Saunders. His decision to move up a division means he has to put on weight, but he'll still be watching what he eats at Christmas lunch.
I'm okay because it's, like I said, I'm moving up a weight, so, and plus turkey's a lean meat, so I can actually eat as much as that as I want. But as far as diet, my diet's very good. It's very strict, especially when it comes to preparing for a fight. So I'll eat responsibly.
Training hard in the gym day in, day out to bulk up. 8 pounds difference between the divisions. Perhaps no surprise, Eubank Jr.'s biggest critic has been his dad.
Well, I'm proud. He's done the work. I didn't believe he'd be able to do what he's done. No, I didn't believe he would be... I knew he'd be good, but I didn't know he'd be this good.
Fighting against the Australian Reynold Quinlan, something ITV viewers can look forward to on a brand new pay-per-view channel.
We'll show the ITV viewers the real deal, and you're looking at him right here.
Following in his father's footsteps, hoping to conquer the capital with his fists. Luke Hanrahan, ITV News.
That's the sport. Have a knockout Christmas.
You will. Same to you, Paty. It's not a good look, though.
Distinctly underdressed now. Now, on Christmas Eve, as many people are rushing around buying last-minute presents, food production has been in overdrive. And no Christmas dinner is complete without the roast potatoes.
True. One producer's been packaging 800,000 bags of them in the lead-up to Christmas Day. As for Afters, a handmade chocolate business which began 10 years ago, now supplies shops all over the country and is having its busiest ever year. Jane Solomons can tell us more.
Millions of these potatoes pouring into one of the biggest packing plants in the country will soon be in the roasting tin ready for Christmas dinner. They bring in 80,000 tonnes of potatoes here a year. That's getting on for the weight of 2 QE2 passenger liners. It's their busiest time of year and they're now working flat out.
Busiest trading time of the year, so we actually double our volume during this period. It's the time of year where every family sits down for a big Christmas dinner. We're packing hundreds of thousand packs a day out of here, so it will be several million customers will be eating our potatoes this year.
More than 800,000 packs of potatoes will make their way through the factory this Christmas. 180 staff are working here. The heat is on. But if the packers are feeling the pressure, spare a thought for the spud. They're all subjected to the potato stress tester.
When the potatoes come on site, we take a sample, put them into this hot box, stress them. If they break down after 24 hours, they don't get packed.
It's tough at the top for the in-demand tuber, and award-winning treat makers Lick the Spoon are having their busiest ever Christmas. The company won Supreme Champion at the Taste Awards competition this year. Their handmade chocolates are sold in Harrods and Selfridges, as well as farm shops and markets around the country.
This year, the orders have kept flooding in, and everybody's selling really well. It's been phenomenal.
We met trained chef Diana back in 2006 when she started the company with husband Matthew in her own kitchen at home, so she could spend time with her family and build the business. They opened their factory in 2009 to meet demand and are now planning to expand internationally.
People start thinking about it months in advance, and then slowly it all gets a little bit manic. And I think this year more than any, people have left a little bit later, and they're coming right at the last minute to get their gifts.
There was no dilemma for Diana in choosing her dream business.
It's just such a wonderful thing to work with, a wonderful medium, so much you can do with it, and everybody loves chocolate, and you're making people happy on a daily basis. What could be better?
Surely a recipe for bumper Christmas sales. Jane Solomons, ITV News.
Lovely. So's this. 3 holidaymakers say they were treated like rock stars after they became the only passengers on a flight from Gibraltar to Heathrow.
We are now currently on a flight of 3 people, and it's fantastic.
Yes, Laurie Lynn Waller, who's staying with family in Witney in Oxfordshire over Christmas, and friends Laura Stevens and Sarah Hunt were upgraded to business class, treated to bottles of champagne, and were even allowed to pose for selfies with the captain.
Well, the Friends plane had been delayed by 3 hours, so when they arrived at Gibraltar Airport, everyone else had boarded an earlier flight. Lucky them.
We got on the flight, and then the captain went, is this it? I've never flown a plane with only 3 people before. And we were like, this is it. And then I went, can we sit up front in business class? And they went, take your pick. Why don't we just put our shades on and take some fun photos for us? We'll never get this experience again. Let's live it up like rock stars. And we did. It was brilliant. First class, private jet from Gibraltar to London. Only 2.5 hours, but one of the best 2.5 hours of my life so far.
Oh, how jealous can you be? And that's a man who is always first class. Simon.
Oh, bless you. I have no champagne for you or selfies to be taken, but we've been celebrating this festive season. Crafty Christmas creations. More of those. Have a look at these Christmas treats. Betty Gale in Bournemouth made her Christmas tree. Guess what that is?
I don't know. What is it?
Folded supermarket magazine. Doesn't look great, look. And Alison Davis has a homemade tree made of hazel twigs from her garden, cable ties, I suspect, from her garage. Get a load of this from Dawn in Romsey. It may look like an ordinary upside-down rotary clothesline, but in fact, it's her own design of garden Christmas tree. Isn't that clever? And Mary Tallow in Portsmouth says, remaking something Christmassy from something else. Here's an angel I made out of an old buck. Look, how about this for a clever bit of recycling, eh? See what I did there? Bits of old bike from Susan Pinnell there. And Shane Clark made a tree exclusively from bits found in the forest. Well, except the lights, he says. That's a tree made from bits of trees. Is that allowed? And finally, no snow, so Georgina Prince's daughter has had to make a wooden snowman. I suspect if we get snow, she'll make a wooden man from it.
No snow?
No snow.
No snow. You heard it first. Here he is, Simon Parkin.
From blizzards to pool, driving through Europe. Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Well, if you've come here looking for some traditional festive weather, I'm afraid you're in the wrong place because, well, it's all a bit stormy for that. Storm Barbara has been causing problems, certainly to the north of the country and indeed further west than us. For us, it's still a bit blowy, gusts of 40, 50 miles an hour quite likely over the next couple of hours, and a band of rain pushing eastwards as well. Once that's cleared off around 8, 9 o'clock, much quieter for the rest of the night with clear skies developing, and that means fairly chilly temperatures down to around 3 or 4 degrees in some rural spots. So for first thing tomorrow morning, it will be a little on the cold side, but a dry and fine start. Plenty of blue sky to get us going. Yes, the cloud will increase from the west, but it's generally high cloud, just turning the sunshine a bit hazy as the day goes on. So very good conditions for the last minute Christmas Eve bits and bobs. Temperatures, well, no great shakes. 10 degrees towards the coast where it will still be a bit breezy, although nowhere near as windy as it's been today. As for your high tide times, you can see on the Isle of Wight around 25 to 7 in the morning, 10 past 7 in the evening. And then another named storm comes along. This is Storm Connor, again affecting Scotland and northern England much more than us, but it will mean that we'll see a breezy day for Christmas Day and a fair bit of cloud too. We'll also see a bit of rain Christmas Day night, but once that's out of the way, for Boxing Day and then into Holiday Tuesday, we've got high pressure very much in charge, and that means more settled conditions with plenty of decent sunshine on offer too. So as long as we can get through the fact that Christmas Day itself will be a bit cloudy, it could also turn out to be one of the warmest Christmases on record.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Just a moment, the ITV Evening News with Alistair Stewart and Ranveer Singh.
We'll have a bulletin for you tomorrow and then again from Wednesday next week, and our half-hour programmes return on Tuesday the 3rd of January.
From all of us here at ITV Meridian, thanks for being with us. Enjoy your Christmas and do have a very, very happy and safe New Year. Stay very safe indeed. See you again soon. From all of us here, take care, and it's bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
And these two as well.